Ready?
Yes. Go ahead, Lieutenant Steve Gallaher.
Good morning. A week ago, Tuesday, July 12th, at about 9 a.m., police officers responded to a suspicious circumstances call in the 1300 block of Eaverson Street. When they arrived, they met with the landlord of a rooming house at that location. He told them that he saw what he thought were blood drops and blood smears leading from one of the rooms that he rents out. The officers investigated, and they too saw what they believed were blood drops and blood smears, as well as bloody footprints leading from the room down the hallway and out onto the porch. Homicide detectives responded to the scene and met with the landlord. He told them that that room in particular was rented to a man named Percy Stucks, a 31-year-old black male. He had been living there for about 3 weeks. He also had a girlfriend, a white female that he didn't know her name, that was living with him. And he believed that Stucks was out of town at the time. The homicide detectives obtained a search warrant for the room, and after processing all the way up to the room, entered the room and found a large volume of blood evidence inside the room, leading them to believe that foul play did occur inside that room. They also found evidence that the room had been cleaned or attempted to be cleaned by someone. At that point, because they didn't know where Mr. Davis or Miss Davis or Mr. Stucks were, they made efforts to locate them. Later that night, they were notified by the Richmond Hills Police Department that Mr. Stucks was in a motel room up in Richmond Hills, Georgia. The detectives responded to the scene, or responded to the motel, and met with Richmond Hills Police Department, at which time they made contact with Mr. Stucks. They transported him to the police station up there, and during the interview of Mr. Stucks, he admitted that on Friday, July 8th, that he and Dorelle, his girlfriend, were in the room. They were having an argument. He said it was because that she was mad at him because he hadn't been spending as much time with her. The argument escalated to the point where he pulled out a gun and he shot her in the head. He said he left her there, and he got in his car and he drove to Pensacola, Florida, and stayed there until Sunday. Sometime during Sunday, he decided to come back to Jacksonville, where he attempted to clean the room, and he put her in the back of his SUV, and he dumped her body near 26th and Spring Grove Avenue. He then left Jacksonville and drove up to Richmond Hills, Georgia, where he rented the room. While we were interviewing him, we had detectives down here go to 26th and Spring Grove Avenue. That was in the early morning hours of the 13th. They did find Dorelle Davis's body wrapped in a blanket and carpeting in a field in the 3600 block of Spring Grove Avenue. They obtained an arrest warrant for Mr. Stucks. It was for tampering with evidence. He was booked into the Bryan County Jail as a fugitive from justice on that charge. And following that, later that afternoon, the medical examiner's office conducted an autopsy which ruled the manner of death was a homicide and the cause of death was a single gunshot wound to the head. Yesterday, Percy Stucks was transported back to Jacksonville. He was booked into the PDF for the charge of murder and for tampering with evidence. And I can try to answer any questions.
How was he located in Georgia? Was he an APB or something?
I'm not sure of the exact way they found out he was up there, but they were making efforts to locate him.
They were making efforts. You mean detectives?
Our detectives,
you were looking
yeah.
for him, and they found him, but he didn't come to them.
No.
They
Right.
He was located.
He was.
Does the victim have children, or what's her?
I don't know if she has any children or not.
The medical examiner that did the autopsy was here in Georgia.
It was here.
Does he have a criminal history? It's in.
I'm not sure of his history. I know that they provided a packet if he does have one.
Any other questions?
Thank you.